So I made a lot of 2D and 3D games, but I think it's time for a new challenge, so let's make a 4D game. You probably think right now, isn't the fourth dimension just time? And if not, how can we perceive that? I mean, we live in a 3D universe. How the fuck do you wanna visualize that? How the fuck do you wanna like build a space rocket, want to travel in the fourth fucking dimension? And another thing you probably want to know is how many fucking times I said fuck in this video already. You can see that in the top corner. It's a pretty fucking weird idea, and I know it's a fucking hell to fucking edit. So fuck my future me. Okay, let's start off with the basics. So this is an tesseract. It's an 4D cube as visualized in 3D. It looks like a cube in a cube, but it really isn't. So what's happening is you have a room, an outer room, and an inner room. In that inner room could be anything, as for example in Antechamber. It's a really mind-boggling game, what really confuses you and is so interesting. For example, here's an image of the tesseract in Antechamber. So that is a visual representation of the tesseract, or a more dimensional cube in a game. But we don't want to steal from Antechamber here, so we are gonna come up with our own idea, and that idea is making objects shift around in the position, rotation, and scale on the W axis. And to explain what's happening or how I achieve that, we are gonna go one dimension below our current, so the second dimension, and there is an being, a 2D being. It can only see on this plane, it can't see 3D, so it doesn't have the Z axis. And what happens if we let a sphere fall through his dimension? He sees a circle that's growing, shrinking, and disappearing, and he can't really know what is happening in the third dimension because he can't see or know what it is. But what he can do is put all these slices together and form a 3D object out of that, and we basically do that but in 3D and importing objects from 4D. So I just did that, and we have a pretty interesting cube. It's really weird when it moves and rotates through the fourth dimension. As you can see here, I can rotate it normally, and then if I move the position on the V axis and rotate it, it's getting pretty fluid-like, and it's getting weirdly shaped, and that's all because it's rotating in the fourth dimension we can't perceive. So you probably think, why can't we see the fourth dimension really? So the problem is, we are in a 3D universe and we can't perceive that. Our brains are really adjusted and know the third dimension and can't perceive anything more, and that's because we only know life in 3D. Our brains don't understand how to look for anything more, for any more directions. So yeah, it's pretty much impossible, but a 4D being would be like a god for us. It probably could see everything in our world. It could probably even look inside of our stomach, remove breakfast without cutting your skin, just like removing a dot in a circle by moving it up into the third dimension. and that's basically perpendicular to the circle without breaking the circle. And that's basically what they do in the fourth dimension, or would do. So I made a game out of that, and I used ray marching, that is using a line that gets shot from the camera for every pixel and rendering the depth and the length from that. So I needed to render every pixel separately, and that would be very laggy, so I just used a plane and downscaled the resolution. And yeah, now I have a 4D game where you can move along the W axis, and I hope you enjoyed it. I will show some gameplay of the 4D game now. It's really fun. I probably will upload it soon to itch.io, so stay tuned for that. Probably gonna upload a trailer. But first, I'm gonna work on my big project. It's a really big game. I'm really happy to announce that it's probably coming out next year, and I wanna upload it to probably the Epic Game Store or Steam. So I hope that everything works right. I'm really working hard on that, so stay tuned also for that, and don't forget to subscribe, because it is such a pain in the fucking ass to program that. And yeah, I hope you had fun. Quick explanation. So what is happening, we are moving an 4-dimensional cube on the W axis back and forth, and every time he hits the wall, he just removes that part he's colliding with. And yeah, that's basically the explanation. See ya. Fuck.